Okay, hi everyone. Hello, I think everyone's joining now. I'm Esther here again with this week's Skill Spark, where we're talking about segmentations or segments, and I'm going to share my screen so you can see everything. Share. Okay. Hopefully you can all see it. Okay, so usually I like to put myself in the corner. I'll make it big in a sec, but there we go. All
Yep,
right.
looks good.
All right. So welcome everyone. As we mentioned, this is our Skill Spark. We are talking about segments today, which really just good ways to group your clients in different categories based on their behavior. But just a little quick note what Skill Sparks is. So usually we dive more into the software itself and show you how you can set different things up for yourself as you are setting up your business or as you are doing different parts of it. So today it's more about your contacts, and we love questions. So if you have any questions, you can share them in the chat as well. We're going to have a little time to go through some of the, you have no sound. Okay. I don't know if it's a me thing. Does everyone else hear me?
I can hear you. Can anyone else chip in if you can't hear? Oh, Sue just popped out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. It might
Samantha
be
says
just
she
a
can hear.
setting for Sue. So anyways, we are using the software today, contacts connecting to your segments. And you might be wondering, what are segments? Let me just move myself. Okay, so usually they reveal a pattern and they really easily group clients into different categories. A lot of times you can think of it more of like a data category, and I'll explain why. And the other one is more like a behavior category. So your data category would be maybe their interests, their age, if they are female or male, or if they come to a certain type of class or another type of class. So things like that. And their behavior category would be more like what kind of membership they have, what kind of package they hold. Do they come to a morning session or an evening session? Do they prefer workshops or weekly classes, etc.? So it's more about their behavior within your business. The segments are really useful because they can be helpful in your business decisions as well, and also help you in other parts of your software. So for example, it could be a trigger to an automation. It could be a group of people that can only access a specific event on your schedule. So you can really easily control your segments as well. And if you're thinking about how to create your segments, maybe you want to think about what your goals are, then build your segments for them. So, for example, if you want to reach out to clients who used to have a membership, but they don't no longer have a membership, and you want to get them back on your memberships, then that could be a segment. So your goal is, your why, you want to find this group of people is because they are doing something or no longer doing something that you really want them to do. And this is something that's not static. So obviously customer behavior changes, your goals may change as well. So I recommend looking back at your segments quite often, but have a few really important, good, basic segments for yourself. And we're going to look at a few examples as well for you. And that way you can start if you haven't really jumped into this before. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can write them down now. We're going to answer them later, but we have a few here that you might think about as well, like some of the challenges. Do you understand what segments are? How are you using this if you're using this? And maybe how it can be more useful for you or how it can help your business. And maybe one decision you're trying to make regarding your clients that can maybe help with creating a segment for them. Okay. So now I'm going to just quickly jump into the software. So this is where your segments are. Hopefully you can still see it. It's basically under your contacts, and then the third tab at the top here, which is Manage Customer Segments. This looks a lot different than what yours might look like if you've never looked at it. There's actually a few basic segments that everyone gets with their plan. So they're already existing on your site. One of them is that person has an active package, have an active membership, participants without an active membership that recently attended, members who haven't attended in a while, and then active customers. Now, this list has a lot more. This is a staging site that I often use to test things out, and it might also have some extra bits that you might not see on yours yet. But I wanted to jump in and kind of explain how this all works. So segments, as I mentioned, they kind of look at data or information about your clients that can be grouped into a category. So, for example, some of the things here, lapsed members. So this one, if you look at how it's set up, they had the most recent membership renewal date was before 4 months ago. So the past 4 months, they haven't had a membership. And you have the same option to either and or, but obviously there are different meanings, and they had at least 10 visits. So it means that this is an active client. They had come to your business or your studio multiple times. And also you can see that they also had another event within the last month. So they are coming to your sessions, but they don't have an active membership. They're using some other ways to come to your sessions, either drop-in fees or maybe a package. So you might want to group these people and reach out to them and say, it would actually make sense for you to be on a membership because you attend my sessions X amount of times. So this is one way you can set this up. You can see that this is really similar to what you have in an automation when you add conditions. So you're looking for different kind of attributes of your clients to make sure that they live within this segment. Okay, if there are any questions, you can also ask and I can show you. But for example, one of the other ones that I really like is at-risk clients, because with this one, you can see who are those clients who are kind of falling away. Maybe they are not as enthusiastic coming to your sessions as they used to. So for example, their check-in counts, so not just the registration, but the actual showing up count is less than or equal to 2. And again, you can change this to any other number that would make sense to your business and in the past month. So in the last 30 days, they only come twice, and that's not really good. And you can also see that maybe or their check-in number count is less than 4 in the past 2 months. So maybe this month they only come once, but the month before they came 3 times. So together that would be 2 per month, but you're looking at, okay, they're not really actively coming. It's not like twice a week or once a week. They're always there at the same session. They're kind of falling away. So you want to really check that. And then you can also check if they have any active memberships or packages. And this will help you because that way you'll be able to see, okay, this is an active client, but they are not really using their package or membership to their full potential. So you want to reach out to them and get them going a little bit more, or maybe there's a better option for them and you don't really want them to spend so much money if they can be on a different membership as well. Okay, so some of the other ones that I've created, for example, membership milestone. This is someone who has had their membership for a year, and maybe you want to really value them or, congratulate them that they have been in the studio for a year and using that same membership. Anytime you look at this, it could look a little bit funky and crazy with a lot of different attributes, but actually it kind of makes sense. So because it's all connected to data, we have to think of it a little bit in a black and white way. So let's say their first membership purchase date was after in the past 12 months. So it hasn't been longer than 12 months. So we're not exceeded the 12-month mark, which would be a year. And the first membership purchase date is before 11 months. So we're somewhere between that 11th and 12th month. So the final 12 months. And they have at least one active membership. So I want to make sure that they still have that same active membership. So this will tell us that this is an active member who has been on a membership, any type of membership, for 12 months. And again, you can connect this to an automation, you can connect this to an email sequence, or maybe just a newsletter where you simply use this segment to send them an email. Or maybe you just want to use this as a data point to see how many clients are in this group. So some of these options, they don't have to be actions on anything else, any part of your software. It could be just really a visual representation of what kind of clients you attract more. So maybe if you're simply wanting to look at this person is interested in yoga and you have specific tags, you can look at the tags, which clients have the yoga tags. And if you have 100 clients or contacts and 60 of them are under yoga, and then maybe the other 40 have various things like just workshops or breath work or meditation or maybe a different kind of modality, then you will see, okay, I have my big chunk as a yoga interest person, and then the other part is something else. Or you could look at how many clients of yours are coming to private one-on-one sessions and how many are coming to group sessions. If you're wanting to make decisions, should I add more classes to my schedule or should I focus more on my private client base? Then you can draw that conclusion from just looking at this data on this page and see, okay, out of the 100 clients I have, active clients I have, only 10 of them are private clients. Everyone else comes to weekly classes multiple times a week. So this could help you making a decision of adding more classes rather than taking it away for your private clients, if that makes sense. Okay, any other questions or anything that we want to kind of jump into? I want to show you how you can actually use these segments. So one of the ways I mentioned is an automation. So anytime you head over to your automations, and if you create one, you can add a trigger. And this one would be that someone enters or leaves a customer segment. So contact enters a customer segment or contact exits a customer segment. Really useful things, for example, that happens a lot in a studio I'm teaching at. If someone is pregnant, well, it doesn't happen a lot in the studio, but it's really important to know. So for example, if someone tells us that I found out I'm pregnant, then we put a tag on their profile, and then that tag puts them into a segment. Now, obviously, a trigger could be a tag as well, but sometimes seeing it more as that segment can be really beneficial because you can add extra conditions like, yes, they are pregnant, but are they also active? So for example, do they have a membership? Do they have a package? When was the last time they came to a session, etc.? So you can add multiple attributes to it. So if someone enters this segment, then you can send them an email saying, here are some tips on how to make sure that you feel confident in your pregnancy journey in our studio for the next couple of months. And once maybe 9 months has happened, so you can add a delay for 9 months, or you can decide to remove that tag from them, and then they remove the customer segment as well. And then you don't really have to manually do anything because the system will do it for you. So that's one really good example. Some other things, maybe age related, if you have different groups, maybe there are some categories you notice that maybe over 60s or 65s tend to gravitate towards one type of session, or maybe women compared to men, or any other basic data that you want to create, and then you can send them a specific email connected to that once they get into that. Another really useful example, we've done this before, a birthday automation, if you've created one. So obviously everyone celebrates their birthday once a year, or at least it happens, even if they don't celebrate it. And you can reach out to them and create that. And you can create that automation maybe with a segment as well if you want to. So this is a really useful way to use it. Another one was on the schedule. As I mentioned, you can actually limit sessions to specific segments. So it doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to edit this one. And you'll see that when you go to the registration part, you can, in some plans, allow registration from a customer segment. So let's say you have a specific event that you only want to advertise and give to your active membership holders, then you would pick that segment that has the active customer segment or the active membership or whatever you set up. Or maybe you have an age restriction and you don't want to allow clients under 18 to attend or under 25 because of other reasons. And then you decide, okay, no one else who is under this age and part of this segment can register for this session. So this way you can easily manage your schedule as well. So segments are super useful. I'm trying to think if there's any other way. The other one I mentioned, if you're sending manual emails. So for example, in your email messages, this might look a little different than what yours is at the moment, but that's okay. When you're creating a new email, then you're going to choose your recipient. At the moment, it looks like this. Yours might look a little different, but basically you can select from a customer segment, just like we did with that schedule. You pick that existing customer segment that you've created. So that's another really useful way to send it to specific customer segments rather than a list of people or tags. And you can manually send an email as well. I'm not sure if there's any other ways on top of my head that could be really useful for segments to act or help you within your business, but I feel like those are the main three good ways to use segments as well. I really like them in automations because, as mentioned again, segments kind of check everything in the background themselves. Like an automation has different conditions that will check for those conditions as well, but a segment will also monitor how your client's behaving. So for example, one of the examples we had is that they haven't come for a session for a few weeks, but then all of a sudden they purchase a new package or they purchase a new membership and they start going actively, they will be removed from that customer segment that says that they are not active or at risk members because now they are active. So you don't have to manually move them from one segment to another. It will just happen in the background for you. Okay. If you have any questions or thoughts, let us know. Love to help. Do you guys use segments at all? Have you thought about how it can help your business? Maybe some examples. You're not really sure how to set it up. I have to be honest, sometimes the logic around conditions, like I have to think about it for a minute because especially with time and relevance and all of that can be a little bit tricky to understand, but it's more of that I guess, pinpoint on a time lapse kind of moment. So what happened X amount of weeks or months ago compared to in the future and other things like that. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay, wait. Yes. So yeah, I'll be honest, it's a really, really cool update. I don't know how old this update is, maybe 2 or 3 years old that we had introduced segments. And it's super, super helpful. When I was running my studio, I jumped on this right away and I had lots of different random segments. I had age related, I had interest related, I had intro offer connections for segments and all the other things as well. And yeah, I like that it can be just in a sense, just a data point, or it could be part of something active like an automation or connecting it to a schedule or even an email newsletter. So yeah, jumping into it. All right, I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay.
Yeah, I want to get some set up for my newsletter as well because I have quite distinctive audiences. I love this. Thank you.
And that's the beauty of it because I think a lot of us, we sometimes worry about that if we're sending everything to everyone, it might be too overwhelming for them. But if you segment your clients in a smart way that makes sense for them as well as for your business, then even if you send an email every day, but they are to different segments, that can be really beneficial for your marketing. So you don't have to send an email to everyone. For example, you have a specific type of offering, and you might want to send it to those who have registered to that offering before or have come to that session before, so they have that tag. And after that, if they don't respond, or maybe that you don't get your offering filled up, you can send it to a different segment and test that one as well if they are more likely to now try it out because they didn't try it out the last time. Or if you have like spot filler ideas, for example, you know which clients are interested in which type of sessions. So you have a class that's not really doing well, you can send an email to that segment and say, this, there's a few spots for this session. You joined this last time, you can join this time again. So I think the segments will take the pressure away from thinking that you're just blasting emails and promotions to everyone, because they should be like, for example, an email that you're sending to a specific segment should have that kind of language or that kind of understanding of why they are in this segment. So back to my pregnancy example, that one would be something that you obviously sending to them because they are a group of special population. They have a really exciting chapter ahead, and you want to support them. It would be silly to send an email like that to everyone else who is actually not pregnant. So, yeah, you want to kind of use your knowledge of that segment and also connect your emails and your marketing to that as well.
Yeah, it's smart because otherwise you might not send that email at all. Right.
Exactly.
So it's the nurturing piece and the importance of that adding value and showing them that particular thing that interests them is really huge for keeping people in your community and making them feel seen and helped.
Exactly. And I think that's why it's really important to think of all the different conditions as well that could live within a segment, because it could be that they have a tag applied. It could be that they have a specific interest, maybe a custom field that's been filled out. It could be that, and it could be all the or rather than the and, because we're looking for if either of these things are true, this person falls into this category. And it's true for segments and automations as well. So in this example, the studio where I teach at, there's, I think, 8 instructors. If someone comes in and shares the news with us that, they are, for example, pregnant, and we put that tag next to the name or do something that shows on their profile that they are falling into this category, the system just automatically sends them the email. I don't know if right away, but maybe an hour or so later, about any important information they should know about their own body and exercise for the next couple of months. And that's a super huge help for the studio owner and also for the instructors, because it's already on the profile, it's already taken care of with all the information they need to know, and no one needs to add extra work on their workload just to make sure that that person is super safe, because everyone will know. So that's the joy of it too. Okay. We haven't decided on, I think, the next topic yet, what we're going to do in March. I'm trying to remember if we have figured it out. I think we have a few ideas, but obviously we are going to send out the recording of this tomorrow, the same time at that this was happening. It's 9 a.m. for me, but I think it's 3 p.m. for you.
3 p.m. Eastern.
3 p.m. for Eastern. So, and it will have the link for the next session as well. So you can reach it. Oh, let me see. So bring this example. Yeah, so it could be just the tag that triggers the segment. It could be that maybe it's a custom field. So maybe you created a separate tag saying that this client is pregnant, or if you use the custom field section and there's maybe an option for pregnant, yes, no, or you put in the date when you heard that they are, pregnant this day, or maybe they tell you I'm 12 weeks pregnant. at that point. So you could use different options. I personally would use the custom field over a tag because the tag would be just it wouldn't give you a lot of information other than that they are pregnant. But if you use the custom field and let's say it's a text where it says 12 weeks or 14 weeks at this time, so put down the date, let's say it's today, for me, 11th of February, they're 12 weeks pregnant, then you can show the badge next to their name if a value exists. And then that could also be the part of the segment that draws them into that group as well. So say that they have this custom field that has a value in it. So that way it's part of it. And that could be then the automation. And within the automation, you can calculate that after 9 months at least, or it could be 10, just to be 100% sure that the pregnancy has happened and there's a baby, then you can remove the information from the custom field back to 0, and then it will remove it from the segment as well because it will not have any information left in it. I would personally do it that way. Tag is really easy, but again, it might not give you enough information. In my example in the studio, after X amount of weeks, we give them a special prop just to make sure that they're comfortable laying down and easier for them getting up and down as well. So that's why it's also helpful to know which week they are in at what time. So no problem at all. So yeah, we're going to share this as well. It's also going to be available probably pretty soon, but just sending you the replay email tomorrow with the details of the next SkillSpark session. If you have any requests of topics, also share. We'd love to hear. And also in the replay email, I always forget to share, but there is a little bit of a feedback form if you want to just write your thoughts, your opinions, any requests. That would be amazing as well. And I hope to see you soon. If you have any questions in the meantime, obviously reach out to us and we'll be here to help.
Perfect. Thank you, Eszter.
No worries.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.